Welcome to Pathways by Path. I'm Evan Rhodes. This is a show about the decisions, challenges, and journeys shaping competitive tennis. We're starting the season where every match is actually decided between the ears. Most juniors lose more matches to their own thoughts than to their opponent's strokes. So before we talk about technique, schedules, college, or the pros, we have to talk about the mind. My guest today is a sports psychologist, Marcus Whitfield. Welcome to Pathways by Path.
Thanks for having me, Evan. I'll tell you what I tell every player I meet. Tennis is the loneliest team sport in the world. There's no timeout, no coach in your ear, no teammate to pass to. So if your mind isn't on your side, you're playing two opponents. The good news is when the inner game can be coached, just like a serve.
Okay, so here's something to think about. In a tennis match, the average point lasts just 8 seconds. 8 seconds. But between points, players have about 20 seconds to reset. That means in an hour of play, they're only hitting the ball for 10 to 15 minutes. The rest of the time, it's all mental.
That's such a wild stat. It really flips the way you think about tennis, doesn't it? It's not just about physical skill. It's about what's happening in your head during all those in-between moments. You're spending more time managing your thoughts than you are swinging the racket.
Exactly. And that's why the mental side of the game is so critical. It's not just about technique or fitness. It's about how you handle yourself in those 20-second windows between points, or how you bounce back after a mistake. And that's where the work of people like W. Timothy Galway, Jim Loehr, and Alistair McCaw comes in. They've each contributed in unique ways to help athletes navigate that inner game.
Let's start with Galway, since he's really the one who laid the foundation for this whole conversation. His book, The Inner Game of Tennis, came out in 1974, and it's still considered a classic in sports psychology. Billie Jean King called it her tennis Bible, and even people outside of sports, like Bill Gates, have cited it as one of their favorite books.
What's so fascinating about Galway's approach is how simple and philosophical it is. He breaks it down into this concept of self-one versus self-two. Self-one is your conscious mind. It's the critical, analytical voice in your head that's always saying things like, keep your elbow up, follow through, don't miss. It's trying to control everything with verbal instructions.
And ironically, that over-control often leads to worse performance. Self-one creates tension because it doesn't trust self-two, which is your unconscious mind. Self-two is where your muscle memory and intuitive intelligence live. It already knows how to hit the ball. It learns through images and sensations, not words. Galway's big idea is that self-two performs best when self-one gets out of the way.
Right. He even calls it the effort paradox. The harder you try with self-one, the worse you play. Maximum effort isn't about overexertion. It's about relaxed concentration. It's about trusting that self-two knows what to do.
One of my favorite parts of Galway's philosophy is this idea of non-judgmental observation. If the ball goes out, it's not good or bad. It's just data. When you stop judging every shot, you learn faster because you're not getting in your own way.
That's such a powerful concept, especially for junior players. Imagine being a 12-year-old who's getting 15 technical instructions from a coach before a tournament. Your self-one is fully activated, and the result is tension and analysis paralysis. Compare that to a coach who just says, watch the ball. That's actually a Galway technique, giving self-one something simple to focus on so self-two can take over.
It's such a counterintuitive idea, isn't it? We're so conditioned to think that more instruction equals better results. But Galway and later Loehr really flipped that script. Too much verbal instruction is counterproductive. It's about showing rather than telling. Or even better, letting the player figure it out through experience.
That's a perfect segue to Dr. Jim Loehr, who took Galway's ideas and made them more structured and actionable. Loehr worked with over 400,000 athletes in his career, including 17 world number ones like Monica Seles and Jim Courier. He's probably best known for his concept of the ideal performance state, or IPS.
Loehr discovered that the world's best athletes all describe their peak performance in similar terms. It's a unique mind-body balance where everything flows. He identified 4 dimensions of performance: physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, and argued that when all 4 are aligned, you access the IPS.
And one of his most practical contributions was the 16-second cure. He realized that the 16 to 20 seconds between points in tennis are the critical moments where a match is won or lost mentally. He created a 4-phase protocol for those seconds: positive physical response, relaxation, preparation, and a pre-point ritual.
It's brilliant because it gives players something concrete to do in that time. You can't control whether you win or lose a point, but you can control how you respond. And that response sets the tone for the next point.
What I love about Lower's approach is how pragmatic it is. Galway is more philosophical. He's about letting go, releasing control, and observing without judgment. Lower, on the other hand, gives you specific tools and routines to follow. Both approaches aim for the same outcome: optimal performance under pressure, but they take different paths to get there.
That's such an interesting tension, isn't it? Galway's approach is almost Zen-like, while Lower's is more structured and disciplined. And then you have someone like Alistair McCaw, who brings yet another perspective to the table.
McCaw is fascinating because he emphasizes the importance of foundational mental toughness. He says you can't skip straight to being tough under pressure. You have to build habits, discipline, and daily standards first. It's not about motivation, it's about standards. Champions don't wait to feel motivated to train. They train because that's their standard.
That idea of standards over motivation is so powerful. It's a reminder that success isn't about occasional bursts of effort. It's about consistency. And McCaw also talks about the importance of environment. The culture of a team or academy can make or break a player's development. It's not just about individual talent, it's about the ecosystem around the player.
That ties directly into what the USTA emphasizes with their 5 C's model: competence, confidence, character, connection, and creativity. For junior players, confidence and character are especially critical, and a big part of building those traits comes from the support system around the player, the coach, the parents, the teammates.
That brings us to the triangle concept. When the player, parent, and coach are aligned, the mental load gets lighter. The player doesn't have to manage contradictory messages or conflicting expectations. It's all about creating a cohesive environment where everyone is on the same page.
And that's where tools like Path come in. It's not about replacing the coach or the parent. It's about connecting them. It's about giving everyone a shared visibility into the player's goals, progress, and preparation. When the triangle is aligned, the mental load gets lighter, and the player can focus on what really matters.
It's such a simple but profound idea. And it all comes back to this central theme. Tennis is as much a mental game as it is a physical one. Whether it's Galway's self, 1 versus self 2, Lower's ideal performance state, or McCaw's emphasis on standards and environment, the message is clear. The mind matters more than the racket.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, I just want to reiterate how much of this conversation is rooted in the legacy of people like Dr. Jim Lower. His work has shaped how we think about performance, not just in tennis, but in life. So here's to him, and to everyone out there striving to find their own ideal performance state.
Well said. Until next time, let's keep exploring what it takes to thrive under pressure, on the court, and beyond.
If there's one thing to take away today, it's this: the mind is a muscle. You train it the same way you train your second serve, with reps, feedback, and patience. We're going to come back to this idea all season. One thing Marcus said off mic that I want to share: the player who has the steadiest mind is almost always the one whose team, player, parent, coach, is on the same page. That triangle is the reason Path is being built in the first place. Next week, we zoom out. If the mind is the engine, what's the chassis? We'll look at the actual junior development pathway in the US, what works, what's broken, and the road a junior actually walks. That's next week on Pathways by Path. I'm Evan Rhodes. Thanks for listening.